We'll start off with David Lake from Inside the U. David?
Hey, Coach. Wanted to ask you about just coming into the season. You all returned a lot of experience and older players. And I understand it's only been 3 games here this season, but it seems like a lot of these returning players haven't taken the next step or even performed at the same level as last season. Are you concerned at all with the player development going on in relation to the older players right now? Understanding it's only been 3 games this year, though.
Like player development in what way? I think I'm sensing your angle, but say more about that.
Just seems like a lot of older guys aren't taking the next step in terms of improvement from what we saw of them last year.
Right. So did they? And I'm with that point. But if you're asking in terms of player development, did they take the step last year? I mean, you know what I mean? Like was there, I guess there's a suggestion that there's not player development going on.
Well,
I'm
mainly talking about it's general, so I get that. But the older players, the receivers are dropping passes. The running backs don't seem to be picking up as good a yards as last year.
We've had, if you really think about our drops and where they've come from, in terms of where they were a year ago, the number is actually down. The problem with our drops is they've been in catastrophic times. And they have been older guys that have been dependable in the past. I think that's more of a confidence issue. I think that's correctable, and I think you'll see that bear out over the course of the season. In terms of the backs, like Cam, obviously we've struggled to find the right combination up front, and I think we're improving on that. And I think that'll start to settle as the year goes on. Disappointing that we didn't have that from the beginning, but you get into games and you see a different side of guys sometimes during the game. So. The player development is ongoing. Just happened out there behind us yesterday. But we believe in our guys. We trust our guys, and we trust in the other guys that we got coming along behind them too.
Is it disappointing in a way that you kind of have to go to a youth movement though here in year 3 that the older guys aren't getting it done, and now you got to find solutions with the younger guys?
I look at it the opposite way, David. I mean, to me, when we came into this program, we talked about one of the major things we had to fix was our recruiting and our roster in terms of talent acquisition. So again, we still think we've got older guys that can do it for us. But I mean, the future of this program is in these last couple of classes and the class that we've got on the hook right now. So I don't know why that would be disappointing. If anything, it's the other way around. Our older guys are going to play better. They are. But we are continuing to increase the talent on our roster.
We'll go now to Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Manny.
Hey, Manny. Can you give us an update on De'Eric? We know obviously he saw the doctor yesterday. You anticipate him being out long. And I guess is it more likely that we'll see the freshman play a whole lot this week?
Yeah, I'd say De'Eric's really doubtful for this weekend. Both freshmen have been getting reps with the first team, or both young guys have been getting reps with the first team. Both Tyler and Jacob have done really good things in practice. Obviously went the entire spring without them both. So if that's the direction it's got to go, I think we're pretty excited about, watching those guys this Saturday. And then beyond Saturday, we'll continue to evaluate as time goes on.
How worried are you, I guess, about De'Eric? Could this be a situation where he needs several weeks off to rest his body? He's obviously gotten hit pretty hard besides from, just that one play where he banged up his shoulder.
I'm worried for De'Eric just because he's such a great kid and he wants to be out there so bad. That's where my thoughts go. But like I said, from the team standpoint, I think the guys have total faith in both guys. I think that's where our spring was a blessing. And both those guys were able to move the football and do good things and show that we can be successful with either guy.
We'll go now to Kobe Price from the Sun Sentinel. Kobe.
Hey, Manny. I kind of want to follow up in terms of the injury report. How's Jalen doing, and where's his status heading into Saturday?
Yeah, Jalen's going to be out for the year. He had to have an operation on his leg, and we'll get him back in the spring.
What exactly is his injury?
It's a knee. I don't have the specifics, but that's where it's at.
Up next, we have Chris from Inside the U. Chris.
Coach, you spoke on Monday about changes. You want to make changes this week. What was the most noticeable change you made, or what were some tangible things you made throughout the week that just what changes have you made?
Well, we started practice yesterday with a, sort of a spring practice type, training camp type drill, where we got after each other pretty good. Running backs, linebackers, tight ends, wide receivers, DBs. Just kind of a, you're limited in some of the mono drills you're allowed to do right now, but we kind of did the closest thing to what you're allowed to do by the new letters of law, how you can practice, where it was physical for everybody and everybody got to watch. So if somebody wasn't being physical, all their teammates were watching. If they were being physical, there had to be a winner or loser on every rep. Linemen were doing the same thing on the other field. We did another perimeter drill, blocking on the edges, block disruption. Same thing. That was period 8. Just guys getting after it. And then what we saw from that point on is that our competitive drills, our competitive team drills against each other, and even our scout team periods, which is really, that's probably we need the most. We're limited a lot of times with our numbers, and the walk-ons we have do a great job, but they're limited in number. So we do a little bit more work against each other than we normally do, and we got after each other pretty good. And then our scout team periods were probably the best they've been in terms of the physicality there. So it wasn't imagined. The players, they sensed it, and then they were able to follow up today with another good Wednesday practice.
And just any changes with the coaching staff or your approach on how you guys go about a week, either game preparation or film, anything different coaching wise?
I'm not sure what you're asking, but no.
We're now to Tim Reynolds from the Associated Press. Tim.
Manny, I'm sorry I jumped on a little bit late. If this were a conference game, would that change De'Eric's status at all, or is he just unable to go no matter the opponent?
No, because he hasn't really been able to practice the last couple of days. So, unless something tomorrow, at this point, that's what I said. I'm just going to leave him as doubtful, and the two other guys have gotten all the reps.
Thank you.
Last question comes from Susan Miller-Degnan for Coach Diaz. Susan.
Hey, Manny. So De'Eric specifically, could you give us a little more information on his injury? I mean, we know it's the shoulder, but do you foresee, and I know Manny asked you, but do you foresee it being long-term injury, a little more specific so we know? I mean, is his career in jeopardy?
I'm giving you what I'm getting, where we're at, you know what I mean? And that's kind of how we're taking it. So we're taking it day by day.
And the other thing is Tyler Van Dyke, Jake Garcia, is one of them ahead of the other? And what do you want to see them do? Can you foresee both of them playing? What are your expectations for them?
Yeah, I think both will play for certain. We'd have to go in and watch this Wednesday practice to see if anybody's ahead after watching the film from today. But both will play, and what the expectation to do is just run the offense. I think it's important for the 10 guys on the field around the quarterback to raise their level of play. And obviously we have to, run the football better and throw the RPOs that are appropriate off of it. We got to protect our quarterback. We get the ball out. We got to continue to make tough catches, especially in critical situations. So, I mean, that's all we need is a clean offensive football game.
That's all we had for Coach Diaz. You got to get Romello Brinson here because he has to go to class. Coach, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.